You got a Facebook. I'm coming. That was me. That was my bad. I swear to God, that was me.
YNW Melly is an extremely talented artist who is currently fighting for his freedom. He said himself multiple times that he has 6 personalities.
How many personalities do you have?
6.
6?
Yeah.
Melly has said that he has 6 personalities, but only 4 have been revealed. Melly, Melvin, Marcus, and Marvin. A lot of people don't know this, but Melly has revealed that he's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and ADD.
Well, you're not diagnosed with bipolar or anything like that.
Yeah, I am.
So you are bipolar.
And ADHD.
In an article written by Eric Skelton, it truly lets us in on what Melly thinks about himself. Melvin's not an alter ego. It's a person, he clarifies, looking me dead in the eyes. I got mixed personalities. Pointing out the difference between his 2 personalities, he tells me, Melly is a joker. He's just the one that everybody loves, and he loves everybody. After a long pause, he makes it clear. Melvin is the one that protects Melly from the wrong people. He emphasizes that Melly is the rapper, but he says Melvin recently started collaborating on music too. Melly and Melvin made a mixtape, he reveals. Back in October of 2015, Melly fired a semi-automatic weapon at a group of teenagers near Vero Beach High School.
A teenager has been arrested in Vero Beach after he fired shots near Vero Beach High School. It happened yesterday just before 2:30. Vero Beach police tell us the 16-year-old male pointed a firearm at 3 other males. He was taken into custody and faces several charges, including 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
The reason for the shooting was never publicly disclosed, but Demons was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of discharging a firearm in public. Is this Melvin or Melly, or one of his other personalities? What pushed him to do this and take a risk? If you watch the way Melly acts on camera in interviews, he seems happy majority of the time. And a positive mindset. But why in 2015 did he do this? Indian River County Sheriff detectives believe that Melly is possibly linked to the shooting death of an off-duty deputy. These detectives say it was common knowledge that Bortland and Melly were at the scene. Allegedly, the 2 rappers were sitting in a group and firing shots when Chambliss was standing about 170 yards down the street and was struck by a stray bullet. Detectives believe one of the rappers possibly fired the fatal shot. Which personality did Melly have this day? Why was Melly in the middle of a shootout? Serving a 1-year jail sentence, he woke up one morning with lyrics to Murder on My Mind running through his head. Melly beat his fist against his chest to tap out a beat as he sang and wrote the full song in his cell. Melly finally recorded Murder on My Mind and uploaded it to SoundCloud and YouTube shortly after returning home from jail in March 2017. The song's violent subject matter was noticed by the state attorney, who read the second verse aloud in court, an attempt to prove the rapper had violated his probation. In and out of jail over the next 2 years for little shit like marijuana possession, Melly stayed focused on music, writing hundreds of songs behind bars and preparing for all aspects of his career. Melly said, when I was locked up in my cell recently, I was exercising my legs. I'm going to be more jumpy. He says, explaining that he put himself through a workout regimen to prepare for tour. Growing up in Florida, Melly seems to be a loner. He once was quoted saying, I ain't really have too much friends. When I went outside, I just be doing shit. Just me and my gun. When someone is isolated from other people and they explain how they felt alone and they were only with them and their gun, that doesn't do favors for their mental health.
Got mixed personality. I really do though, Melvin and shit. He been inside of me. Like, he been in, like, mentally, like, inside of me, but I ain't have a name for him. Like, when I was in the streets. Until one day, I met Hennessy, and then he was just, I looked in the mirror, he was like, Melvin! I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is you?
Upset with what he calls unfair and racist treatment from local police in his hometown, Melly relocated to Miami in early 2018. But the violence continued. On October 26, 2018, YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie were shot near a waste management plant on a quiet road in Miramar. According to local news reports, YNW Bortland drove Sack Chaser and Juvie to Memorial Hospital Miramar before sunrise, where doctors declared them both dead. The incident was believed to be a drive-by shooting. Police say Melly was not present that morning. Melly, Sack Chaser, and Juvie were close, representing themselves publicly as YNW. The 3 have been friends since childhood. Before their deaths, Melly tattooed each of their names on his face and immortalized them in his songs. Speaking on their relationship in a self-released documentary, Melly says, "We ain't never had no fear. You can't hang around us if you got fear, because we know what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we so tight." They grew up together and they were like brothers. Melly's a very humble and caring guy, and I don't think he would ever do that to the people he called brothers. On the other side, Melvin be getting into Melly, but I don't think it was him. A close friend of the 3 involved wants to remain anonymous. And he says on the other side, Melvin be getting into Melly. What does that mean? Why is this friend pointing out that he has multiple personalities in this question? Adam22 also had a strange experience with Melly as well.
That interview was not good. It was a weird one. He always would talk about the two sides of his personality, Melly and Melvin or whatever. I mean, the first time was in the studio and we just hung out and a huge ball of energy. And he was just so much fun, like such an interesting person, talking to me about his music so much. Like I interview him a couple months later and he comes in with a completely different energy. And I was saying how I wouldn't get somebody's name tattooed on my face unless they had died. And then he's talking about his boys who were sitting right there. I didn't realize until after they passed that they were sitting right there. But he's talking about how he had them tattooed on his face, and then ironically, they're dead like a year later.
You know, I got Sat Chase right here, that's my brother and my twin.
Okay.
And I got Juvie.
Juvie?
Yeah, my brother.
Just a lot of your friends who passed?
Yeah. Nah, them my niggas right there.
Oh, okay.
My brothers right there.
My bad. I wouldn't get none of my friends tattooed on my face until they died.
There are people that have met Melly and hung around with him that actually believe he has more than one personality. What causes him to act different? Does he really have some sort of personality disorder? Some fans have interpreted that the lyrics of Murder on My Mind as a confessional, but it was recorded nearly 2 years before the shooting. Confusion is understandable considering just how blurry the line between reality and art is for Melly. It's just sad because we all grew up together. Melly, Sack Chaser, and Juvie's childhood friend says, I'm just as lost as y'all, but if this shit really did go down the way people are saying, then I don't even know what to think because those were his best friends.
But Melvin, I only let him out at nighttime, and I need to stop doing that. Like when the night hits, he really come, and it's like, Melvin is just like, once you play with Melly to a certain extent, Melvin just don't like that. Melvin on your ass, no cap, he on your ass, he don't play.
This quote obviously made fans think about the fact that the shooting was at night when he was with his friends. So if he really does have this disorder, Melvin could have came out at night. From the look of it, if I were to guess, I would say he has dissociative identity disorder. Someone with DID has multiple distinct personalities. The various identities control a person's behavior at different times. The condition can cause memory loss, delusions, or depression. DID is usually caused by past trauma. This description is a little scary based on what Melly has said about himself, and the fact that it says memory loss of certain time periods, events, people, and personal information, a sense of being detached from yourself and your emotions, perception of the people and things around you is distorted and unreal, a blurred sense of identity, significant stress or problems in your relationships, inability to cope well with emotional or professional stress.
Marcus, he the one like, I be in disguise, like if I got like the shades on
Okay.
and a hat, and you can't really tell who I am, and I'm doing some regular people shit, so I could just feel like, you know?
A regular person.
Yeah.
And seeing the way Melly grew up in Florida is alarming because it could lead to something like this. Another alarming fact is Melly said he can't control Melvin.
12 a.m. I can't control it after that. So it's just like, heat up. Ain't no putting him away, none of that shit.
I thought all of this was extremely interesting. The trial that he's in is currently going on right now. There's not many updates as of now, but if people were to look at the evidence, I'd say majority of people would say that he could be guilty. But it all depends on how good the prosecution is and how good his lawyer is, and if they can convince the jury. The question I want to know is, which personality was there that night in the car with his friends? Comment down below what you guys think. Subscribe if you're new. Love you boys. Peace out.